Secretariat, Emer.
Ah, Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Vice Chair.
Yeah.
To all the members of the BAC Bravo, good afternoon po. Sir, before we start, sir, may I call on Ms. Rita Linda Pelelio, member of the BAC Bravo Secretariat for the prayer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let us all pray. Father, as we gather together, we praise you for this day and your purpose for it. Reset our agendas, recalibrate our intentions, and refocus our hearts. Your will for our lives does not always reflect our plans. Change them to reflect your will. Guide us, Lord, throughout the meeting, and thank you for all the blessings. Good afternoon po ulit.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, the meeting will please come to order. Do you have a quorum, Mr. Secretariat?
Sir, for this afternoon, sir, the following members are present, sir. Attorney JR, our Vice Chairman. For the BAC Bravo members, Colonel Valentino Jonella, Mr. Jose Luna, and Engineer Jose Sugi. Sir, out of 6 members, 5 are present, sir. We have a quorum, sir.
Okay, thank you for that. Do you have, what's our agenda for today?
Yes, sir. This afternoon, sir, the following our own is the agenda for this afternoon, sir. Number one is the procurement of consultancy. Sir, this is the TWG presentation, sir. TWG presentation and recommendation. Number one for the project of procurement of consultancy services for the conduct of detailed engineering design of the expansion of passenger terminal building at Davao International Airport. Number two, sir, is the emergency lease of aircraft for CAAP FICG flight operations. Number three agenda is the emergency procurement for repair of Calbayog Airport. Under these are the following: vegetation control and repair of vehicular parking area. Number four agenda is the COVID-19 periodic testing emergency procurement. That's all for our agenda, sir. And if there is other matters, we will discuss it, sir, also. Sir, the agenda will be presented by our Bakbabo TWG, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Emer. Sige, from here, we will proceed now to the, yung presentation ng technical working group. First agenda, yung procurement ng consultancy ng Davao.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, for the updates on the consultancy services for the conduct of detailed engineering design of the expansion of TTV Davao, sir. So, sir, last time, sir, we conducted the submission and opening of their bids, and only 2 were present. The first one was PNB, and the other bidder was RPD Consulting in joint venture with NVIA Consultancy, sir. So, sir, last March 24, we received a copy of the motion for reconsideration of RPD Consulting, sir. And we have put resolution on that motion for reconsideration, sir, for your approval, sir. Pwede yung mag-share screen po. Wait lang.
Romar,
Opo, pwede po.
Yan. Okay. Window siguro.
Okay. Sisimula na kasi
Ay, entire screen.
Ay, may meeting na kayo? Tapos na rin naman. Tulang naman yan.
Entire. Baka entire. Hindi na talaga. Dapat ata buksan. Hindi ba ganyan? Entire screen na. Ano yun?
Diretso sa ano? Opo, nagdidiretso na po yun. Basta ma-restart, ano na po. Basta yan yung huling sign in na user. Automatic na po.
Hindi, pindutin mo. Ayun. Nakikita mo na, Mike? Nakikita mo na?
Dane, wala pang may nakikita dito sa amin. Wala pang may nasa-share.
Pwede na mag-share. Wala naman akong share.
Share screen. Ayun. Ayun mo share. Ayun mo share.
Dane, ano pang technical probe hindi ma-share?
Sir, ayaw pong ma-share. Itatry po namin i-open kay Mike. Yan.
Okay, may nakikita na kami, medyo maliit lang.
Yes, sir.
Di ba pwedeng pahiga? Yan, para mas malaki. Okay.
Yan, sir. For the resolution for the motion of consideration, sir, we recommend the denial, sir, of the motion for reconsideration. So, sir, on the first part, sir, of the resolution, baba mo pa, Mike. Sa base. Yeah, sir. So, this is their contention, sir, based on the MR representatives from both NVIA and RPD went to the office of BAC last March 22, 2021. This was during the submission, and it was claimed that they arrived at exactly 12 in the afternoon, but they had to wait for the staff of BAC to return from lunch break at around 1:10 p.m., where they were issued a request for purchase leave by the BAC. They then proceeded to the accounting division to secure an order of payment slip, which would be the basis of the cash division to issue an official receipt. However, payment was not made because they were allegedly advised by Mr. Emerson Pagkaliwangan, a member from the BAC Secretariat, to proceed to the conference room and settle the payment after the conduct of the opening of bids. So, sir, we referred to the request for proposal where it provided for the schedule of activities, and below it states that the complete set of requests for proposal may be purchased at the back office upon payment of a non-refundable fee provided as follows, not later than the submission of their proposals. And in their MR, it is not disputed that the representatives from NVIA and RPD failed to purchase the required bid docs within the prescribed period. Worthy of emphasis is the fact that the bidders had ample time to buy the complete set of requests for proposal, considering that it was made available as early as March 4, 2021. So in this case, the controlling factor is their failure to timely pay and obtain the required documents before the deadline. It is their responsibility to comply with the requirements. On the other hand, the BAC must determine whether the former faithfully observed the same. It bears stressing that this committee is not expected to go beyond what has been submitted and presented during the opening of bids. Thus, the contention regarding the circumstances as to why they failed to settle the required fees does not deserve merit, sir. So, our recommendation is for the BAC Bravo to deny the motion for reconsideration, sir.
What the members of the, ano, any comment from the other members of the BAC? Ang contention of this, ano, yung MR na to, ng proponent na to.
Mr. Chair, ako I agree with the recommendation of the technical working group. It is not material that the bidder was physically present at well. What is material is that they have a complete set of bidding documents at 1:30 during the deadline of submission. Now, it bears to note that the official receipt or the payment of bid documents forms part of the bid proposal. Sa madaling salita, it's the payment of the bid documents is one of the requirements to participate in the bid. So because they were not able to pay for it at 1:30 during the deadline,
DQ sila.
DQ po sila. Ano lang po yan, non-discretionary pass or fail. And at the time, Mr. Chair, when this was opened, during the bidding day itself, we were informed by the BAC Secretariat. We have records on who was able to purchase the bid or who was in possession of a official receipt on purchasing the bid documents. And RPD was not one of those persons or bidders who purchased the bid documents in time.
So meron tayo, alam na kagad natin kung sino yung, ano, yung
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
from the members, other members.
I agree with the recommendation of the TWQ for qualification.
Wala na, yun na lang ang one. About si, ano,
Well, kumain na ako, I agree also. For the recommendations ng TWD, na ito ay iba, hindi disqualified kasi simple lang eh. Hindi ka nag-submit ng dokumento mo, on time, simple as that. Wala kang one, hindi ka nakapasaya. So this is DQ ka.
Okay, ang sa akin naman ito, ang ano, tama yung sinasabi natin lahat. This is a game of rules. During the time of the, ano, opening, kulang ka sa dokumento, so you're DQ. However, kung titignan natin yung, ano naman, yung mga circumstantial na nangyari, ano ba ang rules natin? Di ba dapat hindi naman kailangan yung maaga, basta during the time meron ka. However, kung titignan mo, nandun sila nung oras na yun para magbayad na dapat makahabol, may mga nangyari. Kasi ang atin dito, hindi, ano basta during the time, meron ka dapat di ba? Sila wala nga. Pero however, nag-ano sila, nagpupursige sila na makakuha ng resibo. May mga pagkaganapan nga, nagtawag dito, nagkaroon ng lunchtime break. Unang-unang tanong doon, are we authorized to have a lunchtime break? Ito, sinabihan daw ng BAC member na ng technical working group na member to si Emer. Sinabihan niya gano'n. So it is for them. Ito, I'm just trying to yung circumstansya na nangyari to be fair sa lahat ng ano natin. Baka maulit ito kung ano man o baka magbalikan tayo. Yun lang ang point ko. Nagpaalam sa it is assumed na yung credibility ng isang kasama natin dito na which is si Emerson na siya pang head ng ng secretariat na pwede yan after ka na lang kumuha. So yung ganon ang pangyayari. Kaya meron silang MR. Without siguro yung ganon na pangyayari, hindi na sila mag-MR. Kasi parang nagkaroon ng assurance kay Emer So pag nawala ng credibility si Emer, wala tayong credibility lahat dito sa BAC na to. Kasi siya ang BAC secretariat kung tignan mo, siya ang isang spokesman natin dito. O tingnan natin yung ano, yung value nito, itong kung merit nitong ano nitong sinasabi ni Mayor na ito na kuan without ano after na lang yan. Yun ang naging nila, naging basis nila or reason nila para mag-provide nitong ano, nitong MR na to, na motion for reconsideration. At the same time, ang issue ng ano, yung lunch break na yon. Yun ang i-resolve natin para kung ano, hindi tayo pwedeng balikan ito mga ito. Dalawa yan eh, dalawang issue na yan na nire-raise nila. So,
Yes, sir.
to the, ano na, to the body, how will be ano, yung dalawang issue na yan. O, sige. O, paano
Mr.
mo
Chair?
yung sikon muna, yung lunch break. Pag government office ka, wala kang lunch break. Puta, bakit tayo nagla-lunch break? O, tapos, credibility ni Emerson, credibility natin yun. Sige nga, sige. Ano lang, for the record lang yun, at least yung ano natin, magiging stand natin when time comes. Sige.
Mr. Chair, may I just interject? May I respond first to your points?
Yes. Sige.
First of all, sir, the purchase of the bid documents is not a back process. It is a process of our accounting, wherein the person must have a request for purchase slip and an order of payment slip. Kasi kailangan ma-identify ni accounting anong transaction ito. So they go to the back office and they will request for that. They will get that request for purchase slip. No? So hindi yan internal sa BAC Bravo Committee. That is a CAAP finance or accounting requirement. And also, sir, to my mind, the bidder must had enough time. They did not have to wait for the buzzer beater to purchase this or comply with this requirement. Secondly, sir, the official receipt has to be attached in the bid documents and the copies of the bid docs. So nung nag-submit sila ng bid documents at 1:30, sigurado na walang official receipt doon at hindi na sila pwedeng payagan because the 9184 provides na the moment nakapag-submit ka na ng bid, you are not allowed to submit additional documents beyond the deadline because that is an alteration of the bid proposal or the bid documents, no? So, yan yung take ko diyan, sir, na the accounting process, it's outside our jurisdiction. That is not a back process. That is our accounting. And the bidder should have complied with that.
And
Yes, sir.
yun nga ang issue doon eh, inalaw ng member natin ng secretariat to do that, okay lang yan, sa akin ang kumuha. O ibig sabihin, may passes siya, okay siya. O paano ano natin yun, paano natin iaano yun, kung yung ibang kaya nyo kami ng back secretariat ko tapos sabi nyo, DQ. O paano natin lalabanan ngayon? Tama yung sinasabi natin talagang during the time of the opening, dapat yung kung A to Y yung requirements na documents na present, dapat present yung si A to Y. O ikulang
Yes, sir.
ka, talagang DQ ka. Pero however, bago mangyari yun, binigyan ng clearance, kumbaga sa verbal clearance na okay yan. After na yan, kunin. Ibig sabihin, may mga pangyayari na po pwede yung ganun. Inaalaw natin before. Ngayon, bakit biglang pasado na-DQ siya?
Sir, if I may.
Hello, sir. Sorry din, wait lang po.
Yeah.
May I be allowed to speak, sir?
Sige.
Sir, for the record, sir, at 1:20 p.m., sir, nasa accounting ba po sila, sir, nakapila para po kumuha ng OPS. In 2 minutes time, sir, magsisimula na po yung opening natin. Kaya I told them na I will told the committee that hindi pa sila nakakabayad, sir. Kasi magsisimula na nga po yung opening natin. Pagtapos yun, sir, kung anong magiging ng committee, sir, kung papayagan pa sila, magbayad. Dito tayo yung susundin natin. Pero for the record, sir, masabi ko sa nila at 1:30 PM di pa kayo nakabayad, di sabihin ko muna sa committee to. Yung po talagang nangyari, sir. Hindi naman po yung sinabi ng letter, hindi po kumpleto po yun. Thank you, sir.
Ngayon, lalabas talaga the word of Emerson and the word of that contractor. Yung ano, kasi yung version mo ngayon, ay dapat sana ang lumabas na ano. Pero yung version nila dito, parang it seems na nagbigay ka ng clearance sa kanila. O, kung gano'n lang lumabas na sinabi nila, dapat right there and there, sinabi mo na, Juan, nadidiki na kayo niyan, hindi na kayo po pwede. Doon pa lang sana, inano mo na, sinyat down mo na siya. Hindi binigyan mo siya ng pagkakataon na ano eh. Di talagang gumawa ka ng butas para mag-motion for reconsideration siya. Dapat outright din sinabi mo, ay hindi ko kasi pag hindi kayo nakakuha niyan, talagang disqualified na kayo. So magpupursige sila. Hindi, binigyan mo ng pagkakataon eh. Natural. Aangal yan. Yun ang point ko dito ngayon. Ngayon, the word of Emerson and the word of their of that contractor na to. O paano natin i-resolve ito? Parang ganyan ba? Anong gagawin natin? Tapos yung lunch break na yun na sinasabi. O yun ang tanong ko, are we authorized? Di ba? Dapat wala tayong lunch break dahil serbisyo tayo. O, ang ano ko dito, baka balikan tayo. Yun ang point ko lang dito. Tama na natin. DQ talaga yan. DQ as in DQ. Pero however, yung mga inaano niya, baka pwede tayong balikan dito eh. Kaya ako na DQ dahil wala kayo dyan eh. Nag-lunch break kayo. Dumating ako eh. Gipit na ako eh. Sabi niya, okay. Pumasok tapos sasabihin niya, DQ ako ngayon. I'm just putting the yung doon sa inaano ko lang yung situation. Kasi may valid yung inaano niya dito eh, yung kiniklaim niya na dalawa eh, na instances eh. Ngayon, if you resolve that yung sinasabi niya, then we decide. Kasi kung talagang denying, kung di-deny natin sila, kung yung ang pag-uusapan lang, yung oras ng opening of the bids, talagang siya doon. Pero yun nga, kung bakit siya na-deny, may reason eh. Break, na wala na hindi dapat ng lunch break, kaya hindi siya naatinan. Tapos inukayan siya ng tip ng box secretariat. Pala, hindi naman kaya ito pwede, na meron palang reason. So, how will we tong na to? Yun ang yung situation natin. Baka makompromise tayo dito. Tingnan natin. We're going down to the legalities na ng trabaho natin. Legal ba yung
May I interject, sir?
Yes.
As to us, sir, the BAC Bravo formal committee, the BAC Bravo committee in itself, we can really, I can really support the technical working group's recommendation to deny the motion for reconsideration. Now, as to if this becomes a case of he said, she said, the word of the bidder versus the word of Emerson, of our BAC Secretariat, ang kay Emerson kasi, the statement now, the report now of Mr. Emerson is that at 1:28, he advised them. He did not tell them na pay after the bidding. He said, I have to advise the BAC that you have not yet paid. Yan yung Emerson. So with that, sir, based on the statement of Mr. Emerson and the principle of presumption of regularity of government functions, I will how do I say this? Mas mabigat para sa akin ang statement ni Mr. Emerson na he advised them at 1:28 p.m. that the BAC will be informed that they have not paid their that they have not paid their bid documents. So, ano na lang yan, sir, kumbaga sa weight of the evidence, mas mabigat yung statement ni Mr. Emerson versus their MR that is not even under oath, that is not even subscribed or sworn to. So it is just, ano sir, kumbaga kung sa trial pa to, it's a self-serving testimony on the part of the bidder. Pero I will not mince words. Mr. Emerson, you might be exposed to administrative liability if the bidder will pursue a complaint. I'm not saying you're going to be guilty. I'm just saying there is a risk of an administrative case. Also, to the back member, no, not back member, the secretariat member who went on lunch break, they are exposed to a risk of administrative liability. It's not a guarantee that you will be convicted or ano, but may exposure lang. Pero as to the back, sir, to you as chairman, to me as vice chairman, and the members of the back, we are in our rightful jurisdiction to rule in denying the MR. Because para sa atin, kung kulang papel sa 1:30 p.m., despite any of the circumstances outside our committee, we cannot accept your bid proposal and we have to disqualify the bidder. So, yan yung klaro sir na dahil sa back committee, I don't think we are exposed to liability, but Ms. Mela in the back secretariat and Mr. Emerson might be exposed to administrative risk if the bidder will push through in complaining about this. On a different note, sir, I also would like to emphasize that this project is a consultancy service. Kumbaga, we are hiring experts. I find it very negligent on the part of the bidder to complete their bid proposal at the at the at the last hour. It is it does not give me confidence that they will be able to perform the consultancy bid for the Davao Passenger Terminal detailed engineering design. Yan po sir, DDGA, yan po Mr. Chairman and members of the BAC, those are my in defense of Sir Emerson and to guide you on the legal exposure for the committee. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Tama, yeah, that's the thing I want to put into record. Gusto mong yung that makes me convinced. Yung gano'n na yun, yung kulatilya na yun na sinabi ni Attorney JR na on the part of the BAC committee, pagpasok nung 1:30 na of the bids, talagang kulang siya. So, diki siya.
Yes, sir.
Kung meron man nangyari beforehand, yung lunch break na yun, yung may sinabi si Emerson na ganito, ganyan, na making pave the way there to continue their different story. So that makes yung liability pa rin nung land na sa lunch break na yun at ni Emerson yung pagsasabi niya nun, that's a different story. Out of the picture na si BAC si BAC committee.
Yes, sir.
Papasok lang si BAC committee nung opening of the bids. Nandun na yung metro, yung trabaho, doon na yung Pero as to kung ano man ang mga pangyayari dyan sa beforehand, wala pang alam, wala pang si BAC committee doon. Kung may mga kaganapan doon. So, Emerson, yung gano'n, yung sa lunch break, that will be, hopefully, you try to, yung sarili nyo, how to, yung, yun, mga statement niyo that will be proven na lang on the other, other, activity. So, with that siguro, I'm already convinced the denial of the motion for reconsideration of this and via consultancy and RTD.
Sir, I will just rephrase that in a formal motion.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, members of the BAC, I respectfully move to adopt the recommendations and findings of the technical working group and to deny the motion for reconsideration filed by NVIA Consultancy and RPD Consulting.
Okay. Wala na. Okay natin yung
I
second.
second it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, it's moved and seconded for the denial of the motion for reconsideration of the NBI consulting is hereby approved. Okay, let's proceed to the ano. What will happen to the ano nga pala, dun sa isa?
Mr. Chair, I think that is the TWG will further report on the evaluation of the other bidder.
Yung other bidder. Okay, sige. Let's proceed.
Yes, sir. With respect to the bid of CND, sir, we will show the bid evaluation report, sir. So, sir, for the bid evaluation of the proposal of CND, sir, during the opening, sir, it was initially rated as pass using a non-discretionary pass or fail criteria. Then, during the evaluation, sir, so we have a scoring sheet, sir, and 20% of that is for the applicable experience of the firm. Here we noted that it is not applicable, sir. Taas mo. Dun sa, for the qualification of key personnel, sir, to be assigned to the project, 45% also not applicable, sir. For the plan of approach and methodology, 35% they garnered the score of 18%, so with a total of 18%, sir. So for the applicable experience of the firm, sir, Mike will discuss as to why it was not applicable, sir.
Based on the TOR, the prospective builder should have an experience of at least 10 years related to the TOR. So the project is regarding airport planning or transportation. So with respect to the submitted completed projects by the bidder, TND design, we have not presented a project that was completed within the last 10 years related to, related to the TOR. So the only project that may be considered related to the project to be procured is Lucena Grand Terminal that was date of the contract is April 1997. Other than that, the submitted statement of completed projects does not comply with our TOR. With respect to the second criteria, qualification of key personnel.
Yung bag. Okay.
So for the qualification of key personnel to be assigned to the project, none of the engineers were able to, none of the engineers, so for example, for the project manager, airport planner, based on the TOR, it provides that the registered civil engineer or architect with at least 15 years of professional experience in planning and development of airports and other related projects. And in this case, sir, they did not have the necessary experience, sir, in planning and development of airports, sir. And this is the same with the deputy project manager or senior civil engineer with at least 10 years of professional experience in planning of airports and related projects, sir. So none of their engineers has experience the what is required in the RTOR, sir. That they have planning and development experience, sir. So, sir, again, we cannot grade them, sir. And for the last, for the plan of approach and methodology,
Bakit? Eh, kung pwede na hinangin volume.
Attorney Dane, continue.
yes, sir. Bye.
Huh?
Basically, you're saying that the employees of the consultant are not qualified based on our terms of reference.
Yes, sir.
And the
We made a discussion here, sir, that based on the criteria for selection of consultants, the prospective firm shall have an experience of at least 10 years related to the project. And also, we cited 9184, which provides that which states that the firm shall be selected using the QBE procedure under 9184, sir. And these are the criteria, sir. Also in the TOR, sir, the consultancy firm should have gained experience within the last 10 years in the conduct of feasibility study, master plan, and environmental impact study for airports projects or in other transportation related. So as
Baka biglang
Mike previously said that only one transportation related project was procured before by this company. However, it was back in 1997, sir. So not within the last 10 years, sir.
Okay.
And here, sir, TNDCO failed to achieve the criteria. So for the second criteria, sir, for the qualification of key personnel, in their submitted CV, sir, of the key personnel, the above identified professionals lack the required airport planning and development experience, sir. For the last criteria, sir, the plan of approach and methodology, upon review of their proposal, we found it lacking in details, sir. So they only garnered a score of 18% with a total of 18%, sir. For the three criteria, criterion, sir. So for failure of the bidder to attain the requisite qualifications, the TWG finds its proposal non-responsive. Thus, it is deemed ineligible, sir. So for our recommendation, the TWG recommends to declare the failure of the negotiated procurement for the project procurement of consultancy services for the conduct of the PTB of Davao, sir.
Basically, sir, sa plan and approach and methodology, they basically quoted the TOR with respect to the stages of the project. So, wala silang naidagdag na other inputs or detailed plan in how to go about the project.
Hindi, yung doon pa lang sa doon sa alin nyo lang, yung sa 18% nyo, yung methodology at ano na, doon pa lang makikita mo kung ano ka na kung expert division ka o yun yun. Out of 35, 18 ka lang. Oh, yun sa approach o methodology mo. Dapat yan, isang tingin mo pa lang, alam mo kung paano babanatan na yan. Alam mo, tatrabahuin yan Tapos 8% lang siya.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, sige, go ahead.
Sir, this is already the third bidding. No? I would like to call the attention of our end user, ADMS, and Engineer Mike. This is the third bidding. So, under the manual, the GPPB manual, kung ganito nakadami ang ating failure of bidding, hindi ba baka may problema din yung ating TOR itself? I'm not saying na the technical aspect, but is there a need for us to do a market survey? Is this project, I mean, this is a Davao Passenger Terminal bid, Davao Airport, PTB. So, mababa ba yung ating ABC na walang sumasali? At kung may sumasali man, parang hindi qualified. My question is, why are we not attracting firms that have previously entered into, we have engaged before? I am alarmed na there are only 2 who attend. Maraming nag-attend sa pre-bid conference, pero during the bidding itself, isa, dalawa, tapos hindi pa experienceado ang sumasali. Baka tama pa ba to yung ating TOR? Kasi baka tayo na ma-question This is this is already our 3rd round. Magpapasok na tayo sa 4th round.
Parang lumalabas dito na na gusto nating magbenta ng isang bagay na ayaw na maibenta.
Yes, sir. Walang taker.
Oo, kasi dapat ito, nag-aagawan lahat dito Tapos yung tama yung sabi mo ni Tony JR, merong magpa-participate pero mga dispalinghado sa totoo lang.
Yes, sir.
Isang last minute, isang ganito ang yung methodology mo tsaka approach mo 18% naman. Which ito dapat ang isa sa pinaka isang tingin mo pa lang alam mo kung paano gagalawin yan, paano mo tatrabahuin yan Paano mo yan?
And wala silang sir, and wala silang airport experience. So
yun na. Oo, ibig sabihin kahit kung sino na lang.
Opo.
Tama
I
yung
do not
technical working group should have assessment evaluation na siguro. Tingnan ninyo. Kasi baka tatanungin siguro tayo niyan, what happened? Anong dyan? Bakit walang may gusto na dyan? Meron, pero ganito yung kalibre nila. Ang gusto natin high-powered firearms tapos pampaltik lang yung mga sumasali. Nakita niyo siguro yung yung reason? Baka masyadong mababa yung ABC natin. But di siya attractive for the sa mga profile din na
Yes, sir. Under the GPP manual, sir, kung ganito nakadaming failure of bids, the end user must reevaluate if the project is indeed financially feasible or attractive to bidders. Kasi baka ang project itself natin ang may problema na kaya walang sumasali sa bid.
Ayun, siguro, ganun ang magiging natin. Let's go to the process. Ano ba yung procedure? After this na to, nakatatlo na nga naman tayo. Dalawang sealed bid. Tapos isang negotiated, wala pa rin. So talagang...
Engineer,
Yeah, sige.
Sir Mike? Engineer Mike? May ano ba? EDMS to, di ba? So, is this project from DOTR? Ano ba to? When we receive the TOR, ano na ba to? Parang the TOR and the ABC, was it all endorsed by the DOTR? Can we review the figures of this?
Regarding the TOR, the DOTR have submitted the draft, and the ADMS technical team revised minimal revision on the TOR. So, pero basically po, with regard to the requirements, halos parehas lang.
Parehas lang to with our other DED contracts. We've bid out DED contracts for other passenger terminal buildings, di ba?
Opo, halos the same po yung requirement sa Tacloban Consultancy. With regards to the participant, meron pong dalawang project na consultancy DED na yung nanalong bidder hindi nag-participate dito sa
project
Davao Consultancy. With regards to the participating bidders for this project, during the pre-bid conference, there are three. Yung Palafox po yung hindi nag-participate. But for the participating bidders, TNB Consult, they have requested for an extension because of their JV joint venture. Kaya siguro kulang yung experience ng mga key personnel nila dahil doon sa joint venture nila. Hindi na isama po doon sa submitted bid. So, with regards to the recommendation of the PWG, the PWG recommends to declare the failure of the negotiated procurement. And
Mr. Chair, I respectfully move to adopt the findings and recommendations of the technical working group to declare a failure of bidding for the negotiated procurement of the consultancy services for the DED of the Davao Passenger Terminal.
Seconded, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, so moved and seconded for the declare the failure of bidding for this procurement of consultancy services for the conduct of detailed engineering design of the expansion of passenger terminal building at Davao International Airport is hereby approved.
Next, sir, we will present the back resolution, sir, the draft back resolution for this project, sir.
Sige, ano yung ano natin, yung let's move natin about this consultants natin dito.
Sir, may dalawang options po yung BAC. Number one, we can return it to the end user and request to review the project and the ABC. Number two, the other option is we proceed with the fourth bidding.
Yung bang nakalagay sa kuha natin, sa regulation?
Yes, sir. Ang basically sir review is if we've conducted several failure of biddings na, it is recommended that the end user must review its bid documents or the project proposal. So they can adjust the ABC if necessary. Kumbaga mag-market survey ulit or titingnan kung if the bid documents are very stringent na walang may mga kapag-participate. So that's an option, no? Pero ang ending niyan, papasok pa rin yan ng fourth bidding. So do we allow the end user to review or do we go right ahead to a fourth procurement round? Yan yung sir, Mr. Chair, our option.
Ang tanong ko dyan, after another market research or review of the end user, can they go higher with the ABC or any changes from there?
If the Director General will support the findings of the end user, the ABC can be increased. May basis yan, sir, basta may market study na ma-provide.
From here, reckoning from this day, ilan ang timeline yan kung i-rebid natin for the second round of the negotiated bidding? Technical working group, ilan ang timeline yan? Kailan natin ulit i-rebid?
After ng
Sir, implementation 5.
Sir, after review, the process for the second negotiated procurement will take 2 months, sir.
2 months.
After the review, sir.
Ano?
After the review, sir. After the end user reviews,
the review plus 2 months.
for the
Kung
process,
mag-review.
sir. Yes, sir. After.
Ano?
Basically, sir, the procurement process is 2 months. So if we decide on a fourth round immediately, next week, pwede na masimulan yan eh. Ma-reissue na yung invitation to bid eh. May issue na yung request for submission of proposals.
So ibig sabihin, from here, it takes another 2 months.
Yes, sir. Kasi failure of bidding na tayo. So reposting na dapat.
So, ano nangyari doon? Juan, close bids ulit?
Yes, sir.
Ganun ang mangyayari?
Opo.
So, ano ba ngayon? April, May, June? So, June na.
Yes, sir.
Tapos gaano katagal itong ano nito? Ilang months ito?
Implementation, sir, is 5 months.
June. So, from the implementation, from the bid, kailan ang notice to proceed nito? After 28 days?
Tapos na, sir, Brett.
Yan, sir. 2 months yan, sir. When they say procurement process is 2 months, inclusive na yan of the notice to proceed.
So, within that 2 months, notice to proceed na yun.
Yes, sir.
So, matatapos siya ng kung June, July, August, September, October, November. Tapos siya ng November.
Yes, sir.
Ready for implementation na siya by November. Tama ba yun?
Opo, sir.
Tapos gaano katagal yung yung ano nito? Yung tatrabahuhin siya, yung civil works.
After November, sir, magbibidding ulit yan for the construction.
Another
So that would be another 2 months.
another 60 days.
Yes, sir.
December, January na.
Opo.
Tapos ilan days ang ano yan, civil works niyan.
I don't know, sir. Depende na yan sa TOR.
Technical,
Ano po ba ang usual PTB construction period? Engineer Mike, would you know?
ano ba yan? Ano naman to eh, di ba? Kung lang ito eh, yung parang extension, di ba?
Opo, sir.
Mike, ano estimate mo?
Hindi ko po mabigay yung estimate kasi ang laki po ng budget. Nasa 700 million po yung allotted budget for the construction of the PTB expansion.
In the case of Tacloban, how long did we give the contractor there, the construction? Sir Val, would you know, Sir Val?
Well, doon sa Tacloban, initially, that is 540 days. Na-reduce to 200 lang.
540 days daw, sir. So, beyond, almost 2 years.
And that is, yung sa Tacloban, that's more than 600 million.
Kailan ba nag-umpisa? Itong itong bidding na to. Itong sa
Last year pa namin ito pinapawibid out, sir. Yung
last
consultancy.
year,
Yeah.
anong month? Last quarter, third quarter, last year.
Mga second quarter siguro, sir, kasi naka 2 biddings kami last year on this.
Second quarter. So almost 1 year na rin. Na,
Yes, sir.
Tapos aabot pa ng hanggang so isipin mo lang consultancy lang 1 taon kalahati. Di ba?
Yes, sir.
So may problema talaga ang nito, yung consultancy niya. May problema talaga siya.
Baka yung project itself, sir. Baka mura, I don't know.
Kaya nga, may problema nga. Hindi siya, hindi ganun bakit hindi siya palatable sa mga engineering world, sa mundo ng mga inhinyero, mga airport developer. Usually, sino ba nag-assess sa atin itong nag-evaluate? Technical working group lang?
Not our TWG, sir, not our BAC. It should be the end users technical team.
Kaya nga. Sino ba yung end user nito?
ADMS po, sir.
ADMS, yung next. Wala.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Better
tinitingnan ko yung amount ng consultancy services for 700 million na expansion ng PTB. Compare that to Baler. Talaga nga, hindi siya inviting to cuts dahil almost 9 million na siya. Anyway, dapat may balik lang ulit dito sa end user para ma-review ulit kung talagang okay ba yung figures na inilatag yan with regards to consultancy against doon sa value ng amount with regards doon sa expansion sa PTB amounting to 700 million. Dapat lang siguro na i-review talaga. Maibalik ulit yan dito sa inyo, sir.
Before we decide siguro, kung technical working group, kung ano naman ito, ang gagawin dito, yung unang kinompute natin is di ba? Kung i-rebid ulit natin, pero kung ibabalik natin dito sa end user for proper evaluation, gaano katagal yun?
Sir, it will depend on the end user po kasi sila po yung nag-review, sir.
ng TOR.
Wala ba tayong experience factor dyan? Gaano katagal yung mga yan? ADMS?
Ano? Marinig sa office ko.
Kung re-reviewin natin yung ABC niya, yung ano niya, yung TOR mo dyan, lahat.
I suggest natin ang i-review ulit pati yung T1.
Mga gaano katagal yun? Ano yung estimate?
I'll check first, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, kasi kung ano natin, i-review ulit natin ito, it takes 2 months eh. Pag-reviewin ba, gaano katagal yun?
Sir, kung in terms of review, sir, and then if the end user will find that they need to increase the budget, it will have to go through the process of realignment with our finance and the DG. So, ano ba yung usual on that, sir?
Ano ba yung DOTR ba to? Downloaded ba to? DOTR? O COB?
Downloaded project po.
Ano?
DOTR ito eh. Yan. Mr. Chairman, DOTR ito eh.
Hindi, benta mag-increase. May pagkukuhaan pa ba? Ano to? Anong year ba to? 2000, ano tong GAA to?
Don't have that info right now.
Wala. End user o technical working group.
May nakita po akong the Arthur na 70 million for the feasibility po ng Davao PPB.
So, dyan ba kinuha itong 9 point, ano na to? 9.8? Kasi kung titingnan ninyo, kung tataanin natin ulit yun sa sinasabi natin na i-study tapos yung probable na increase natin to make it inviting or palatable to the baka mahirapan na tayo, saan tayo kukuha ng punto, wala na yan. Meron pa tayong pagkukuhaan para idagdag dyan? Yun ang tanong eh. End user.
Ano naman yung kasi yung
Kung wala na tayong dadagdag, talagang we're close. Na ulit, nung baka sakali tayo ng meron. End user, tsaka technical working group. Dapat yung mga information na yan, alam ninyo eh.
Meron po akong nakitang 2019 na LAR. Na worth 70 million. Doon po kukunin yung sa consultancy service na funds.
Doon ba kinuha itong 9.8 na to?
Apo sir, yung 9.8.
Nasa napunta yung 61 million?
Yung breakdown po,
70 million. Ha?
yung breakdown po ng
Hindi, tinitignan nga natin kung meron pa tayo makukuha na pandagdag. Kung wala na makukuha, what's the use of dito? Of checking na pa ulit, Mike naman. Di ba? Tell me, saan siya kukuha pa? May pagkukuhaan ba kayo? Baka yung recommendation natin patalo.
Pero in terms of Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yeah, good.
Well, I suggest na itong documents na ito, ibalik ulit sa EMS para ma-review. That's the only thing na, kasi kung pre-failed bidding na, hindi naman siya, as you said, hindi siya palatable doon sa mga gustong sumali sa bidding. So, rather review para isa either may taas o ano, then let the end user, DMS, ang mag-recommenda kung ano magiging final decision dito sa Coneto, sir.
Hindi nga,
Yan lang naman ako.
meron pa ba tayong, kung just in case na gusto natin magtaas, meron pa ba tayong idadagdag na pondo dyan? Yun ang tanong eh. Kaya nagtatanong ako, anong source of fund nito? Kung meron pang natira dyan na savings, pwede nating idagdag. Kung wala na, ang mangyayari na lang sa inyo, magkakatest kayo dito ng ano, para bumaba yung
may available source man dito sa sa Davao eh.
Salamat po.
Meron pa siyang 90 million na na available funds eh. So, might as well, ibalik na lang ito.
Ano yung 90 million na yun?
Yung 90 million yan sinacharge yung consultancy.
Hindi, may 70 million na kanina eh. Ano yung 90 million na yan?
Hindi, separate itong 90 million na ito. Intended for Davao only.
May consultancy pa ulit dyan?
Yes, 90.
Oo, meron pa. Dito tinanong ko nga si Engineer Burlado.
Feeling nyo lang yun.
Meron siyang 90 million available funds. Maliban doon sa 700 million. So, kung may babalik
Bukod doon sa 70 million. Kasi sabi ni Mike kanina, hinugot itong 9.8 million doon sa 70 million kanina. Ngayon, merong 90 million ulit na pwede pa ulit doon humugot na sports consultancy.
If I may, sir.
Sige.
Regarding the feasibility, 90 million po. With regards to the construction, 700 million.
Hindi, huwag mo munang pasukin iba, Mike. Ang pinag-uusapan natin, wala pa tayo sa construction. Dito pa lang tayo nga sa feasibility study.
Opo, 90 million po yung sinabi ko kanina.
Hindi ba 70?
Hindi po. Yung may 7 po, yung sa 700.
Pinag-halo-halo natin eh.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, can we give the end user like a week to prepare and coordinate with the ODG para masabihan lang kung if they can make a market study to review the price or if there is available funds to increase it. Either way kasi, Mr. Chair, we are caught in a difficult position because if we proceed with the fourth bidding, we might waste another round. Ano?
Yan nga eh. O pwede ba yung ano ngayon, yung way na yun na mag-ano tayo ng ano muna, i-postpone muna ito. Kaya nga,
yes,
I'm checking yung possibility na just in case pag nireview nito para kung mag-increase ng ano tayo ng ABC, meron pa ba tayong pagkukuhaan. Ngayon kung wala
yes, sir.
na ang lalabas dyan, magtatapos ka ng program of works mo dito sa Kwan para, di ba, magbabawas mo para at least yung 9.8 na yan, maging ano siya, lumaki yung value niya. Baka maliit ang margin of ano niya dyan ang kita Kaya walang tumatanggap. Ngayon, magbabawas tayo ng trabaho para lumaki yung margin of profit niya. So, gano'n ang mangyayari, which is, anong implication nun dun sa trabaho? Baka masacrifice naman yung, alam mo na, yung quality, yung mga gano'n. So, yun yung mga dyan, yung possible na magiging pwedeng mangyari. Ngayon, kung yung sinasabi mo na, provide them an extra week to check everything, it is within the, within the bounds of, natin yan, ng procedure.
Yes, sir, I believe so because right now, sir, we can decide if we will go to the fourth round or we will just pause it, give the end user enough time to reevaluate their documents. Kasi kung mag-decision tayo ngayon, sir, for the fourth round, we will still be using the same bid documents, the same TOR, the same ABC.
Hindi, yun yung gamble natin doon.
Yes, sir.
Kakagat. Eh, kung wala
Yes, sir. Kaya nga, sir, I think prudence would dictate that we allow the end user first to review their project proposal, their procurement proposal.
O sige, anong pleasure ng grupo, ng committee?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I myself, as a user, may balik yung documents ko review dito sa EDMS.
Ang tipid nyo naman.
O sige.
For information,
Wala.
Any motion for that, recommendation?
Puro laro.
Mr. Chair, I respectfully move to
Di man ganun sa
transmit
ano laro ba?
bid documents back to the end user
Parang
for review
kumakain na eh.
and to report to the BAC next week on their recommendations.
Pero kumuha na kayo.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I seconded on that move.
Okay, the move for the to transfer back the documents to the end user, which is the ADMS, for a further review and provide their recommendations until next week. When is that next week? Ano time? O kailangan bang 7 days?
Ano sir, yung next BAC Bravo regular meeting natin, sir?
Okay, sige. O sige ganun. O hereby approved and seconded. Sige.
Thank you, sir.
Para ano na tayo dyan, makahulagpos na tayo dyan.
Sir, if I may, we prepared a draft back resolution for the second negotiated procurement, sir. And our recommendation, sir, is to declare the failure of this negotiated procurement, this first one, sir. And the second one is to recommend the immediate procurement of the same services through second procurement, sir. Second negotiated, sir.
Attorney Dane, I think we already approved the item number 1, pero yung number 2, i-remove lang muna.
I-remove na lang, sir. Yes, sir.
Yung number 2 lang, item number 2.
Okay, sir.
That's correct. Tama yun.
Thank you, sir.
O sige, next item tayo.
Emerson, next agenda item, please.
Number 2 agenda is the emergency list of aircraft for CAAP FICG flight operations. I think, sir, the TWG also will present a resolution, sir.
So for the FICG, sir, the recommendation is for to issue a resolution of the BAC Bravo recommending for a six-month extension for the lease of aircraft for FICG flight operation nationwide, sir. So based on the last contract, sir, for lease of aircraft at FICG, it states that the period is to run for 1 year, reckoned from February 2019. However, an addendum was executed wherein it provided that the contract shall be valid until such time that the remaining hours allocated for the rental of leased aircraft be fully used and exhausted. Sir, upon verification with FICG, the remaining hours allocated had been completely depleted last March 25, 2021. Consequently, the contract is deemed expired on the same date. So due to the expiration of the said contract, there is a need for the extension of contract for a period of 6 months or from March 26, 2021 to September 25, 2021, pending the bidding for the new procurement of lease in order to maintain status quo in the operations of the procuring entity and to avoid interruption of service. So under the GPPB Reso 23-2007 entitled Approving and Adopting the Revised Guidelines on the Extension of Contracts for General Support Services, the approval of the HOPE is required for the extension of contract. So this the pertinent provisions or all contract extensions shall be subject to the prior approval of the head or his duly authorized representative upon recommendation of the BAC. Now therefore, and in consideration of the above premises, it is hereby resolved that the CAAP BAC recommends to the HOPE the approval of the 6-month extension for the lease of the aircraft for CAAP FICG flight operation mission nationwide.
Ah, kinuha ko. Hindi, Sabi ko lang, nilalanggam lang yung pizza. Sabi ko, wala naman ako sinabi.
Mr.
Kumuha kayo
Chair?
ng internet.
Yeah.
Layo naman ang sinabi
Mr.
ko.
Chair, this is just, I believe I have presented this in BAC Bravo meeting before with the same recommendation to extend the FICG contract. So with that, because the TWG has formalized my recommendation into a resolution format, I respectfully move
Yeah.
to adopt the recommendation of the technical working group in the extension of the FICG contract for a period of 6 months, starting March 26, 2021.
Before we approve this one, why not 3 months? Why 6 months? Why not 9 months? Anong significance ng 6 months?
Sir, it can only be extended up to a maximum of 6 months.
So, minakamize na natin.
Actually, Mr. Chair, the rules provide that the contract can be extended for a maximum of 1 year. But if we will to exceed 6 months, we have to make a formal information to the GPPB. So below 6 months, 6 months and below, there is no need to notify. And also, it's to provide sufficient time for the FICG to prepare the bid documents for a regular bidding.
Okay. Do we need to put that yung reason na yun, bakit 6 months ang natin, ang pinopropose natin? No need.
Well, I don't find the need for it, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So, kung wala na, yung parang yung the wisdom or the reason behind why 6 months ang lang natin, bakit hindi 3 months, bakit so no need. Let's be silent na.
Yes.
Di ba may boyfriend
Yes,
ako?
Mr. Chair.
Okay. That's all.
Mr. Chair?
Among the two. Any
Ito yung namin yung
comment?
parating kita.
Sige.
Ayun, tapos
Si
Mr.
si
Chair?
naman,
sige.
may boyfriend. Kaya,
Joshua, sir. Sir, tanong ko lang po kasi ang pagkakaalam ko po, yung contract nila is based dun sa flying hours
nakita ko na
po
ako na yan.
nung flight check aircraft.
Problema kasi maka-Diyos
Hindi po ba pwede nating
ganun,
i-define yung kung ilang hours yung pwede niyang i-consume dun sa 6-month
parang lahat,
extension period?
parang lahat ng nakita ko sa sa wall niya, puro mga sa mga dasal, di ba mga ganun.
Yun lang po, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, tama. Valid yun. Ang yan, kung ilang ba yan? 10 times niyang gagamitin o
Na
kung lang.
hindi naman pumunta ng simbahan. Tamad ko magsipat.
Ewan to sa awa yan. Gawin niyang natin every week 4 times 6, di 24 times yun.
Then, Mr. Chair, I will respectfully remove, I defer my motion. I would like to amend na lang po that the technical working group coordinate with the end user FICG to define the number of lease hours and the time
nakalima na ako.
extension.
Nakalima na po ako.
Yung previous ano niya ba, yung previous contract, ano ba yung nakalagay doon? Nakalagay ba yun?
Pero masarap po yung
Sa
cheese.
previous
Masarap.
contract, time
Masarap
siya,
yung
it
cheese.
was
Yung
time
isa,
bound and
kala ko
also
walang lasa.
may
Masarap.
hourly usage. Ang
Okay.
nangyayari kasi before na
Hindi,
naubos na
akala ko
yung
walang
time, like
panlasa.
yung
Baka
oras,
katulad ng
pero there is
mga
still
normal lang na pizza
enough
yung
hours,
pinagbibilin.
no, flying
Pero may
hours
lasa.
allocated
Sarap.
through that period
Yung kulay white.
for the contract has
May
already
lasa
been
Sarap.
achieved.
Okay.
So may dalawang may dalawa
Hindi ata siya
siyang
cheese.
expiration point. The flying hours and
Pero
the
masarap. Kala ko
calendar
walang lasa kaya di ko kinuha
months.
Kinuha ko agad yun nasa gitna
So tama din
Yung
si Sir Sugi
madaming
na
ano.
kailangang i-define na lang din yung number of flying hours allocated within the 6 months.
Oh. Tama yun, tama yun. Valid yun eh. May merit yung sinasabi ni Josue na ganun. Kasi kung 6 months, baka naman ang nito,
Hindi tayo kasi malakas, sir Brett.
yun nga,
Hindi tayo malakas.
24 times mo ba siyang gagamitin or allowed only twice a month. So something.
Yes, sir. Define din ang sir, contract price.
Sigurado tayo.
Define.
Yeah.
Ay, naku.
Okay. So,
Praise po kasi kay Sir Manny, hindi po nila alam kung kailan po ginagamit talaga. Notify na lang daw po sila like days before. So hindi po, before po, yun po yung sinabi ko yun po sa sila.
Madali lang yan din kasi yung original contract has number of hours eh. So yung number of hours in 1 year, just divide it by 2. Kasi 6 month contract eh.
Yes, sir.
yun, tama, mas basic yung ganun.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Kumbaga sa low average na tayo dun.
Opo.
Yung 6 months, yung 1 year na yun, divided by 2 mo, then yun ang most likely na iano natin dito. Ngayon, ang tanong doon, komportable na ba si Manny doon? Si end user? Itanong rin kung komportable siya doon sa kwan na yun. Sa flying hours na yun na kwan. Yung ilalagay sa 6 months na yun.
Yes, sir. I will just confirm with Sir Manny, sir. Thank you, sir.
So attorney, please put in the number of hours and reflect also the contract price. And then because this is an extension of contract, the contractor will be required to renew his performance bond when the contract will be signed.
Yes, sir.
So at least we're allowed, merong ano doon na we're allowed to have an extension of at least 1 year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sige. With that siguro, any motion to how do you call this? Ano yung term na ginamit mo dito, Colin JR?
Sir, defer ko lang sir because hindi pa
You defer pending providing the number of hours.
Yes, sir. And the contract price.
And the contract price. Any motion?
Seconded, Mr. Chairman.
Wala pang motion eh.
I move, sir, to defer the matter to the next back meeting.
Alam mo, nag-move na sa defer din eh.
I move to defer, Mr. Chair, to the next back meeting.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. I seconded, Mr. Chairman.
It has been moved and seconded for the deferment of the FICG request for the extension of the contract pending the provision of the number of flying time within 6 months and at the same time the price of that contract, that 6 months contract. Do I approve? Sige, next.
The next item is the emergency procurement for repair of Bayog Airport. And I think this will be also discussed by the PAC Bravo TWG. Thank you.
Uwi na ba kayo, Sir Ernel?
Dean, may presentation ba kayo, Dean? Or were you able?
Kala ko,
Sir, yung copy lang po ng note niya, sir.
Kasi
Yung
kalap
last
pinutot
time
kayo
na
ni Ma'am Sophie
sir.
Okay,
kanina.
I'll present something na lang. Sir Val, I was able to send to your I sent to you yesterday the draft memorandum that we
Ay,
prepared.
naku.
Wait a minute, let me try to share screen.
Yeah, I already signed on that, Attorney Gian, and that is been forwarded to for the approval of DG.
Ito ba yung, can you,
Ano ba yan?
Yeah, that's correct. That's it.
can you see the screen I'm sharing? This is the memorandum, proposed emergency procurement.
Pwede ba?
Everyone, can you see my the share screen?
Yes, sir.
Ito ba yung proposed? Ang hirap naman itong Google Meets. Next time, mag-zoom na tayo, please. Okay, anyway, just to share with the members of the committee, we were called in a EXICOM meeting last week by the ODG and requested this matter. So, yung Calbayog Airport is due for inauguration and commercial operations on April 21. In fact, right now, Secretary Togade and the ODG, DG, and the Chief of Staff are in Calbayog Airport doing a preliminary inspection. So, ang report ng ODG nila, Kosh, is that kailangan pa daw ng i-repair yung vehicular parking area because it's gravel, and we need vegetation control and landscaping in time for the inauguration and commercial operations. So it is being transmitted to BAC Bravo to process the emergency procurement. So the budget estimate will be 9 million for the asphalting and 3.1 million for vegetation control and landscaping. That is the information, sir. So ito po ang justification on the asphalting and the vegetation control and landscaping. This will be two separate procurement activities. Ihiwalay natin yung asphalting contract from the vegetation control and landscaping contract. For your comments, gentlemen. Members of the back.
Wait lang, may kausap lang ako sandali. Juan.
Okay, sir. Attorney Dane, na-view nyo ba na itong item number 3? Attorney Dane, nakikita nyo ba dyan sa screen niyo?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Hello, sir.
Di ba nagtawanan sila?
Ano ba yun?
Sana tayo, sana tayo.
Sir, our action is to recto matter for emergency procurement for the repair of Calbayog Airport and its vegetation control and landscaping for emergency.
Okay. Sige.
So if I may formalize the motion, I respectfully recommend that the BAC Bravo recommends to the HOPE the emergency for the repair of Calbayog Airport and to proceed with the emergency procurement for asphalting of vehicular repair of Calbayog Airport, asphalting of vehicular parking area and the vegetation and control landscaping as presented by ADM's amendment.
Sandali lang. Ano itong authorized the finance department to align the budget from possible fund sources savings?
Sir, this memo kasi sir is directed to the HOPE. So lahat ng kung if the DG, well actually nautusan naman tayo ni DG, ano lang, part na rin siya ng the entire process. Pero for the BAC, ang recommendation lang ng BAC is to proceed with the emergency procurement. Provided that all the other documents are complied with, the certificate of budget availability.
Next time siguro, ang ipakita lang yung kung ano yung ano lang. Kasi wala nang pakialam na yung back dito sa mga iba dito eh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Apologize, sir.
Oh. Kanina ba dito?
I prepared this, sir,
Okay.
with the instruction from the ODG.
Hindi. Ibig sabihin ba, ano? Pag ako, yung ipakita na natin itong si 9 tsaka si 3. Kasi bigla akong binasa yung ano, mayroon pang ganun. Kala ko kasama yun. Hindi na pala kasama. Okay.
Yes, sir.
O, sige. O, any comments from other members?
Para sa EDMS, Mr. Chairman, wala na masabi.
Si Kwan, Josue.
No comments na po, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sige. With that siguro, any motion to approve this asphalting of vehicle parking area for 9M and the vegetation control with landscaping in the amount of 3.1 million or in all 12.1?
I formally move for the recommendation of the BAC, Mr. Chair.
Seconded, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so moved and seconded. Asphalting of BPA amounting to 9 million and vegetation control with landscaping worth 3.1, all in all 12.1 million to be procured
Emergency procurement.
For emergency procurement of this BAC Bravo by approved. Sige.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members of the BAC. Ang last na lang, I think, Emerson, COVID-19.
Yes, sir. The last item is COVID-19 periodic testing emergency procurement, sir.
Ito, gentlemen of the BAC, I will just present first my memorandum. This is not for action, for information lang muna kasi hindi pa ready lahat, no? So, mag-present lang akong wait a minute. Are you viewing a memorandum emergency procurement for COVID-19 periodic testing? Can you confirm if you can?
Yes, Tony. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Confirm.
Okay, so gentlemen, this is also an instructions from the DG now, and also from the board of directors because the cases in CAAP is very alarming already. Ito po ang report ng OFSAM that there are 121 cases of COVID since March 16, 2020. Right now, there are ongoing active cases of 13 And unfortunately, we have had 4 deaths. Ano ito incumbent, plantilla, and I think also job order contractual personnel who we have lost during this pandemic. So the OFSAM has recommended that we undertake a periodic testing, once a month testing for all central office, and then there are offices identified as high risk offices that will have to undertake twice a month testing. As for the area centers, the data shows that there is not that they are relatively safe, that there is a low exposure in the airports na hindi kailangan ang periodic testing compared to the central office. So right now the data is still being compiled. Ito lang ang initial presentation, and I've given this to OFSAM and to HR for them to confirm. So central office assigned personnel is 1,624. Pero itong mga offices twice a month testing, so times 2 yung test kits na gagamitin para sa kanila. So it amounts to this a total of 2,655 test kits. I've also allocated 5% of the monthly test. Ito DDGA, yung sinasabi mo ng mga unplanned or unprogrammed testing. So nilagyan ko na lang ng contingency amount of 5%. So if we are going to have a test from May to December or 8 months, the monthly cost is 3.1 million, and the total cost for this 8-month period would be 25,488,000. The cost per test is 1,200 pesos, but inclusive. So, sir, this is just preliminary information. It's subject pa to the validation of HR and OPSAM kung tama ba to ang number of tests that will be administered. There is an ongoing talk with NIA and CAAP that the testing area will be in Nayong Pilipino area, and that the service provider will provide a medical bus for the testing. The test kit to be employed, it will be antigen test, and that has to be IATF, DOH, and FDA approved testing kits. So papasok po ito under emergency procurement because there is a GPPB resolution 03-2020 for emergency procurement of COVID-related projects, as we need to have immediate response. So ito lang po muna. There is no action for the BAC. This is just for information. But if you have something to share, I will appreciate your inputs and insights. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any bright ideas among the members other than dito sa present ni Tony JR?
This is just one part, no? There is also another plan by the ODG to prepare medical test kits. Basically, hindi pa rin ready ang information, kakabigay lang sa akin ng OFSAM. The idea is may medical test kit, parang go bag, na kung meron tayong COVID positive person, meron na siyang may mga gamit na doon, may vitamin supplements, thermometers, oxy pulse meter, basically an emergency kit for COVID-19 para makatulong tayo sa mga kasamahan natin if they will be affected by quarantine or treatment isolation. So that will also be presented once I have the full information. Pero itong testing plan, I think it's very important para maka-responde tayo kaagad, and at least once a month or to operational units twice a month, you will have the confidence that you are COVID negative. If you have any other inputs, please let me know. I will present this again formally with the OFSAM on our next BAC meeting. Pag ready na talaga ang figures.
COVID kit bag. Kung wala na yung walang comment yung members of the group. Ikaw, Emerson.
Wala naman, sir.
Wala. Ano ka na? Malinis ka na? Ha?
Ano nung malinis, sir? COVID-free?
Ako po, sir, nag-negative na ako.
Ganon. At least may plasma ka na sa katawan.
Sir.
Pwede ka na
Sir,
mag-donate.
if I may, sir, to give an input po. Regarding the personnel who will be assigned for testing monthly, yung mga frontliners po, yung mga tumatanggap ng aplikante or humaharap sa aplikante tulad po ng sa high clearance.
Yes.
Kasi parang wala doon ADMS sa
Sige, that's please give me Mike your recommendation kung sino ang mga may exposure to public transactions in ADMS para sila twice a month. Lahat ang buong central office once a month, pero yung mga nasa front lines will be tested twice a month. Wala nga
okay,
dito sa ADMS. Pero if you want to recommend, please para ma-input ko na rin Engineer Mike.
Okay na siguro
Colonel
yung once a month. Hindi na siguro.
Okay, I defer to your to you Mike and to your service chief kung anong recommendation.
Thank you po.
Kasi yung mga ko naman doon, mga engineers doon nasa swab test naman yung pag lumalabas eh. Unlike itong nasa high clearance, naka-garrison lang sila, nasa opisina lang yan. Tapos umaharap sa mga kliyente na hindi mo alam kung saan galing. Make sense na sila isama sa priority rin. Just in case na matuloy itong natin activity na to. Meron pang iba na
Sir, no more agenda, sir.
Gusto na umuwi talaga. Tinatanong ko kung meron pang committee, agenda.
Sorry, sir. Akala ko yung agenda pa, sir. Sorry po.
Mga naapektuhan ng virus yung mo wala na. Kung no more comment, let's proceed to sa sa other matters mo. Sige. Emerson.
Sir, there will be no other matters for today's meeting, sir.
Wala.
Wala pong naka-schedule na other matters, sir.
Walang in-schedule. Ba't mo nilalagay?
Sir, lang po yan kung meron. Wala po.
Wala nga, tapos nilagay mo. Huwag ka kung wala.
Sir.
Nilagay mo automatic. Pag nilagay mo yan, meron yan. Di ba? Obligado ka. O sige, mag-produce ka ng other matters. Nilagay mo eh.
Sige, sir. Sa susunod po, pagka meron na lang po. Thank you.
Sabi ko nga, yung produce eh. Tapos susunod na lang. Hindi mo ba tatanungin? May isama sa priority na ma-antigen?
Sir, ano po, sir? Hindi ko masyadong narinig, sir.
Hindi mo ba i-recommend kay Atty. JR na kasama ka sa priority, kasama
Nawala. Nasa meeting ako.
matters mo sa nila, Mike?
Sir, ano naman po sabi naman po ni Atty. JR, it will be, sir confirm pa ako. Makikipag-coordinate na lang po ako sa kanila. Kung pwede kaming maisama, halimbawa, nasa, naman po yun, sir, nasa recommendation po ng office.
Gentlemen, I remind that the testing is once a month for the entire central office. Ang mga frontliners will be tested twice a month because of some recommended na twice a month yung frontline officers. So yung frontline high risk areas are those who have significant transactions with the public. No? Kumbaga nasa frontline staff, and also yung offices are conducive for viral transmission. So we have identified that the air traffic service, the Air Traffic Management Center, the ATMC, is a high-risk office. So kahit na walang pumapasok doon na public, community transmission of the employees na apektuhan yung buong shift nila or yung close contacts kasi centralized air conditioning doon. Pero lahat tayo matest at least once a month may testing para sa lahat.
So,
Yan lang
okay,
po.
okay ka na doon, Emerson? Once a month? Ha?
Yes, sir, we will recommend to be checked twice, but I will defer to the committees of some ruling, sir, kung once a month lang po pwede.
Buta, mukhang lasing to si, iba yung sinasabi nito ni, Emerson, eh. Sinasama ka na nga, i-recommend mo pa. Kasama ka na, sinasabi ni, Attorney JR o ni Yelo. Once a month ka na nga, ano pa i-recommend mo? Sige na, okay na. O sige. Mukhang aga-aga mo dyan nakainom, ha? 10 litros ka na kagad.
Hindi, sir.
Off the record yun, ha? Baka sabihin, umiinom ka na kagad dyan. O sige, kung wala na, let's move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Seconded, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sige. Maraming salamat sa inyo, ha, for having your time. At least we're able to test yung mga requirements natin ng CAAP kagad to yung natin, yung mga project natin at yung mga dapat asikasuhin. We have done so much for this afternoon. Again, maraming salamat sa inyo and the move to adjourn is hereby approved. Okay? Sige. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
po. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Professor Man.
Emerson.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Mag